Hey everybody, it's Jim of Animated Educated, and today you're going to get a little taste of an interview with Pablo Berger. I got a chance to meet him through his distributor, Neon, which is distributing Robot Dreams, the film that was a Academy Award nominee this year. And I actually met Pablo at the Annie Awards because Robot Dreams won an independent film for that. Yeah, so here's my interview with Pablo Berger. Hey Pablo, I met you at the Annie Awards this year, and I'm so glad that you made Robot Dreams, and I'm so glad that it is finally coming to the U.S. now. And I'm just curious. I know you're going on this press corps now. You're answering all the same questions and things. I was just curious. Are there any questions that people haven't asked you that you really wish they would ask you, or maybe just
Maybe you can. I'm sure you can ask me the question that maybe somebody has not asked. It happens. I get asked sometimes questions that nobody has asked. Just throw it.
Well, I've got some. So I've
Throw
got
it.
some stuff.
Maybe
All right, great.
I'll tell you if it's the first time somebody asked me that question.
Okay. So you've done a variety of previous films in live action. Robot Dreams is your first animated film. And can you tell me about how you and animation director Benoit Fermont worked together to make this film?
Okay. Well, Benoit, he's one of the key players of this film. He was the animation director. So he really helped me in the whole process. First of all, we had to get an army of animators. That was very difficult. We had to get over 100 animators. And I needed somebody that had a lot of animation experience that helped me to communicate with the senior animator, with the lead animators. And definitely he was key. I respect his work very much. He had worked as animation director with Sylvain Chomet in the Triplets of Belleville. He had worked with Tom Moore in the Book of Kells, and he had made wonderful short films as a director himself. So I was very lucky. I think there's a Benoit touch in the film, which is really I really appreciate it. He was a great collaborator on this film.
And I've been watching some of your previous films, and because I thought, oh, this guy must do animation, and then I found out all your past, and yeah, I just want to say I really enjoyed your version of Snow White, and I did spot the one frame in the editing of the bullfight with the skull.
Oh,
This,
that's the
yeah,
subliminal frame. Yeah.
yeah, awesome. And I really hope everybody sees this and goes back and looks at your previous films as well. And like I said, I was curious. Robot Dreams the first time, and I saw it a second time. The second time, I started seeing little things like I saw your name on the box of that the robot comes in, and then I noticed that chicken and cat is kind of like Sarah Varon made a book
right?
called Chicken and Cat, and you have that as their neighbors. So are there any other little things, little Easter eggs you put in Robot Dreams that people can take a
Well,
look at?
there are dozens of them intentionally, but not for me to, because they are Eastern eggs, they have to be found. You know,
Ah,
that's
okay.
the, but definitely there are webs. When more than webs, they're like TikTokers and YouTube. They're like fans of Robot Dreams that they've been like already posting film references, pop culture, Eastern eggs. You know, but I think, of course, the main thing is the film, the story, and the characters, and that's the cake. But I like whipped cream. I like cakes with a lot of whipped cream, and all those Eastern eggs. That's that whipped cream that makes it enjoyable for people to find. Oh, and they kind of like sometimes you are in an audience and everybody's quiet and somebody starts laughing. It means that he found an Eastern egg, you know, and I like that.
I just saw, now forgive me, I don't know that it's Tora.
Torremolinos 73, the
Right, right.
difficult word.
I watched that last night, and I'm gonna watch it again tonight because I felt like that. Wait, I felt like the quality of the film at the beginning is different, and then it slowly changes into kind of very slowly. Is that just me or what? I don't know. I felt like I was watching kind of a, like you were shooting a Super 8 kind of grainy, and then it becomes even more colorful kind of at the end.
There's some scenes that they're shot on Super 8. Actually,
Oh,
well, actually 16 millimeter process to look like Super 8. But there because the main character he's making amateur porno Super 8 film. So there's some Super 8 scenes that have to have more grain. But I don't
right.
know which version you saw. You saw it on a platform on DVD or how, but you know, but it's part of the style on some elements that it has different textures. The film.
And I also saw Abracadabra, and I noticed that when went back to seeing this one, that you had this big billboard about Paradise Apartments coming soon, and then I saw it again in Abracadabra, but it was like they're building it, and
Yes.
I was really, little things like that. It's kind of fun.
Well, I must tell you, like doing the promo Robot Dreams, I haven't talked much about Torremolinos, so Abracadabra. So you are the first one that I'm talking about my previous work. So I'm happy that Robot Dreams helps some people that like the film to watch my previous film because I written and directed all of them. They're very connected. There are little connections between them as the one that you found. And because you've seen them in a very short period is very like, oh, yeah, no, of course there's all these connections in the film, you know?
Yeah, it was pretty funny because my son came home later that night, and I'm right at the end of the movie, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but
Yeah.
if you walk in and at that point you think I'm watching some
Yeah.
other movie.
It's the kind of film that, you know, you see my father, I don't want my father
Right.
know that he's watching this right
It was
now.
really hard because I'm watching him. He's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, no, it's not what you think."
Oh,
It's,
you have to look, it's
you
Matt
know,
Mikkelsen. You should have said, you know, one thing that we should talk about is like, you know, Matt Mikkelsen appeared in Torremolinos 73 before he had become like an international movie star. He has a big role in Torremolinos. You know, it's Matt Mikkelsen, you know.
yeah, yeah.
I helped him. This was a springboard for his career,
Ah,
Torremolinos.
yeah. And I love the whole thing about the director and the crew, and they don't speak English, or not English, but they don't speak
Yeah.
Spanish, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and the producer is like your worst producer ever, who's like really wants you to help do that, but has his own agenda.
Yes. And he just, of course, you know, I know that kind of producers. I know. I met them.
Yeah, yeah. So so you've been touring with this. It's coming out. It's out in theaters as we speak. I really
Yes.
hope everybody gets to see it. And is there any advice you have for other, students of film or animators out there?
Well, as students of film, you know, I was a film student myself. It's like, don't be afraid of animation, even if you don't know how to draw. Like that's my case. I think animation it gives you a new color palette, and you can tell stories you cannot tell in live action. So I think in film school they should encourage people to do animation, and even if you go to a school of animation, you can encourage them to make live action. Animation is not a genre, it's just a way to tell stories. So that would be one recommendation. And another one advice is just be patient. It's a long way. This is a marathon. It's not a 100 meters race. So just be focused and just be patient. It's a long
Right.
way.
Yeah. And do you have any future ideas for combining live action with animation, or would you like some?
I don't know what I'm gonna do next. When I know what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna rest because
Good idea.
it's been 1 year traveling with Robot Dreams since Cannes. I was in the official selection of Cannes last year. The film has been released all over the world now. The last big territories where it's been released is States right now, China next week, and a little later Japan, and that's it. The film is being released all over the world. So I'm just looking forward to stop, and I have some ideas, I have some
Mhm.
scripts, I have some proposals, but I really need to kind of like, okay, procrastinate a little bit,
Right.
take some time.
Yeah. And people don't understand that when you make a film, it's one thing to make the film, but then to actually get it out to the audience so they can see it. That's takes twice as much work. So,
Definitely,
but
that's a big part of the work of the director is just to get a megaphone, not only to say action. With this megaphone, you have to say, step right in to watch my film. And it's part of it, that's, it's important too as well.
right. And you should have Bergman on that megaphone as well. So,
I have that megaphone in my office. That's one of my favorite things in my office. I have the Berman Molino 73. I see it every day. It
yeah.
reminds me of my first film.
That's great. Well, thank you again for coming on Animated Educate. I really appreciate this. And yeah, it was great to see you. And I hopefully can't wait to see your next film, whenever that is. So
Well, thank you. Thank you for your support. And I thank you, the animation community, for supporting the film from the beginning. And thank you for spread the word of Torremolinos. I was in Torremolinos. Yeah, you're spreading the word of Torremolinos, Abracadabra, Blancanieves. You are encouraging people to see my previous film, but now we are focused on Robot Dreams. Go to see Robot Dreams at a cinema near you soon.
exactly. Yeah, it's great to finally meet you and actually get this interview. So thank you. So
Thank you, Jim. It was a pleasure.
well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Pablo Berger of Robot Dreams. Definitely look for this film and see it this summer. You won't be disappointed. It's a very touching and fun film, and it's all 2D animated. So, what's not to like about that? If you enjoyed this interview in any way, you can press that button right down there to subscribe, or you can look at other interviews I've done. Or you can take a look at these two right here, and we'll see you next time on Animated Educated.